Gorgeous. Got a special question for you this morning. Have any of you who were with us on the live stream or after the live stream attended King Charles' inauguration? And the second question is, if you did, how close did you get to see him and the Queen? How close were you? And did you get to see him riding in the golden carriage? Just to be up nearby, maybe even, I imagine it's unlikely that somebody got a selfie in all that royal gold. And then even better still, did you ride inside the carriage with him? Or we can just make it easier if you... Who are the most important people you have met? The most powerful people you have met? Maybe you met Bill Gates at Davos, at the conference they have every year. Or maybe you met a president of your own country. It could be a small little country like Ireland or Malta or El Salvador. It could be a big country like USA or China or Russia. Have you met anybody like that? Or maybe you met the king of rock and roll, or Einstein. Or maybe the biggest influencers out there today. Or maybe you met the Pope. And when we see people rising up economically, a fellow student has his own company, her own company, or they make it in politics, or they're a great writer and have become famous, they're interviewed on television, accounts of them in magazines, you know, those famous, the magazines of the famous, the rich and the famous and the powerful. And why are we drawn to that? Why are we drawn to that? And the problem is that Queen Elizabeth died, and the great rock and roll stars have died, some of them very tragically. Some kings have died tragically as well, in battle or in some illness. Poor Herod the Great in Jericho. Or the emperors of Rome. Why are we drawn to that world? So much drawn that if you were to take out all the literature that deals with power and glory and wealth and pleasure, what would be left of the world literature? You know, Macbeth, all the songs of our times and the movies. Quack, 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 quack. Quack, quack, quack. Now we have 6 ducks. Isn't that amazing? Oh, we had, 4 and the 2, right? So that's the family here. The count is right. Great to see them again. Quack, 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 quack. It's been a few weeks. Quack, 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 quack. We're friends. We're just doing live streaming, guys. I love the color on that green, that dark green, very rich green color of the geese. These are not ducks. I call them ducks again by mistake. They're geese. And wouldn't you like to be able to fly like they do? Just take off with such power. Quack, 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 quack. Quack, 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 quack. I think they're in the territory of this other bird that's screaming around there. That's an amazing color, isn't it? There's kind of a satin type of impression to it. We'll get the green again to come forward there. We're all drawn to dominion, to the powerful, to the stories of the rich, of those who do their own will, who rule over vast empires. It's intriguing. And it's in our DNA since the beginning. Exercise dominion over creation. Exercise dominion over creation. And then we have such pleasure in so many parts of creation. We have the senses for pleasure, taste and sight, like enjoying that green of that goose. The beauty of the sunrise, or seeing, enjoying taste, a peach, a good cheese, wonderful, delicious dessert. Oh, these guys are flying up here. We got the, wow, that was an Oriflight there. We got that one flying over our heads. There they are, off. There seems to be a battle of dominion there between those different birds. The geese and that other one whose name I've forgotten. Dominion, power, pleasure, wealth. And gaining and growing in these often becomes the driving force of many of our decisions. And sometimes even to do bad things, like Herod in the story of John the Baptist that we read yesterday, I think it was, or 2 days ago.
Peace be with you. Friends of gospel for the church fathers is that every
My other little phone there went off in my pocket. Got it under control. And we'd love to have more power, even in the kitchen, even in our home, over our budget. But the government makes taxes and we imposes obligations. People here, these are Orthodox Jews, are setting up camp here. Not sure if they're gathering and tidying up, or if they're coming and setting up. It's the time for their vacations they have, and they do it a lot in community. All the readings today talk about power and dominion. And then there's a claim in the second reading, following the reading from Daniel, a reading from Peter's letter, that all this consideration of power and dominion is for real, that it's not a concocted myth, because there are lots of myths and novels about power and pleasure and dominion and victories. They're the ones we have in our own mind when we think we're victors in exercising dominion, and they're ones in reality. And some people do build up an empire, and then the impact that empire has on others, like the Roman Empire, on other peoples, the subjugation, the wars, the sword, the crucifixions, and our longing to control situations. And we can't even control the course of our health. The whole COVID phenomenon threw a lot of power brokers off their seats. Industries collapsed. Airlines went into crisis, all the tourist industries. Thanks be to God, we survived here in the Holy Land. And other people maybe rode high in the time of crisis because they provided services that were very important. And they had an opportunity of great growth. Their industry grew a lot. They had a lot of dominion, but who can have dominion always, forever? And who can ride over death and over illness and over breakdown of empires and glory? Queen Elizabeth, such a long reigning monarch. How long will King Charles be there? And then we have that great theme. Who was the poet who wrote about the Pharaoh in Egypt with his upturned statue buried in the sand? A kingdom long gone, nothing left. And these are the themes of our readings today. And we see Jesus in glory and power, but in awesome humility and proximity, fragile humanity on the way to crucifixion. Radiant in glory. Amazing. And his kingdom is for real and forever. And it's a kingdom in which we participate. We're not just going to have a selfie with Jesus in his golden carriage. We will have our dominion. And the amazing thing about the saints all through history is the whole world is theirs, even though they're crushed by it. Because they're one with God in their minds and hearts and souls. This is really incredible. And that's the peace they have. It was a beautiful line, a guide that accompanied our encounter a week ago, and I was with him. We were together in the bus. His name was Scotchy. And he said, he just made a wonderful remark about the prophets of Israel, how they were really outsiders. They didn't have any power in front of the kings. The kings could wipe them out like Herod did to John the Baptist. And nevertheless, they had the nerve to speak to power and criticize power and call out power. And in their human nothingness, they were a major challenge to the kings. And it's a little bit like this in Mount Tabor. Here we have Moses and Elijah flanking Jesus. And the Transfiguration, which we celebrate today on the 6th of August every year, and it coincides on Sunday. And there, in this occasion, Jesus is so humbly present, but he is the King. He is the Son, the eternal Son of the Father. Listen to him, in whom I'm well pleased. And we see three fishermen. Sorry, I think the Wi-Fi got reactivated there. We see the fishermen from the Sea of Galilee. There's a little transmission difficulty. So we have three fishermen from the Sea of Galilee, Peter, James, and John. And they're participating in this moment. They want to make three tents to be there with Jesus. It's not their moment yet, because they're there for the selfie, they're there in the golden carriage, but they're going to have to go through martyrdom. James is the first one to be martyred. And Peter will be martyred. And John will be basically tested and tried like a martyr. This is extraordinary, people. This is our vocation. This is who we are. This is our identity. We've been given dominion, and it's a dominion in Christ the King. Amazing dominion. What a contemplation this morning at Mount Tabor, radiant in human nature. And all our little sicknesses and inabilities and fragilities and brokenness, we're on a path to glory forever. May you share in this glory forever. God bless you. See you later, alligators.